Attack on a fan or a drunk fighter saying rubbish about UFC are really some critical moments that, of course, UFC will prefer to delete. By the way, do like, share, and subscribe, and also hit the bell icon for the latest updates. So without wasting time, let's dive into today's venture. 5 deleted moments UFC doesn't want its fans to see. Number 5. Jon Jones and his rivalries. Jon Jones for years was received by the masses as a wide-eyed and incredibly ambitious young man who was doing an incredible job at realizing his dream of becoming the youngest champion in the history of the UFC. However, by the time he reached the goal at the age of 23, slowly the general public began to suspect that this incredibly nice and polite demeanor was fake. Before too long, Jon was being accused by many of being a completely different person when the cameras were rolling, and in one infamous moment shared with his greatest rival, Daniel Cormier, he proved to all of the public just how two-faced he could be. With the interview in question at a halt and nothing but a live feed to DC in front of him, the pair began trading insults before Cormier said that he wished he could see Jon so he could spit on his face. What followed was one of the coldest pieces of trash talk you will ever hear. Calling it trash talk would be incorrect. Jones explained how he would actually kill Cormier if he ever did it, not realizing the camera was still on. When this interview eventually surfaced, it proved to the world that Jon Jones wasn't quite as humble and soft-spoken as he pretends to be. Number 4. Conor McGregor, the Notorious. From the perspective of the UFC, a rostered fighter posting a video of themselves clearly intoxicated while smoking a massive blunt usually wouldn't be a major cause for concern. However, when that star happens to be Conor McGregor, all of a sudden you've got a media circus on your hands. And though Conor has never been afraid to, let's just say, document his love for whiskey and other unsporting substances every time he makes an Instagram post like this one, you just know that Dana White is somewhere tearing his hair out. Number 3. BJ Penn. BJ Penn's later years have in many ways been defined by the many losses he sustained inside the cage, as well as the numerous personal controversies that have caused many fans of this sport to openly worry about his well-being. However, the most shocking and upsetting incident of all came when a very drunk Penn was filmed getting knocked out in Hawaii by an unknown assailant, who the former champion was repeatedly enticing to attack him, and though the phrase "ask and you shall receive" would be a bit cruel for this one, when the man in question obliged him, Penn hit the floor immediately. To make matters worse, once BJ regained his senses, he then tracked the man down and began to beat him up after securing the takedown, putting a stellar Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background to use. Number 2. Paulie Costa and his wrong move. In the wild and sometimes weird world of post-fight excuses, could it be said that Paulie Costa is in a league of his own? Well, after turning in a truly underwhelming performance in his first shot at UFC Gold against the middleweight king Israel Adesanya, Acosta took to his social media to admit that he had drunk an entire bottle of wine the night before the biggest fight of his life in an effort to get some much-needed sleep. Whether due to an overly active mind or pre-fight anxiety, somehow the top contender to the middleweight throne decided to remedy a situation by doing the one thing you should never do the night before a fight. Needless to say, the UFC and the sports fan base at large weren't overly thrilled by this revelation and accused Borracina of being extremely unprofessional. Things escalated further when Costa, in his comeback matchup against Marvin Vettori, pretty much refused to make weight, breaking the terms of the contract there and then forcing Vettori to accept a 205-pound bout during fight week so he could remain in the card. Number 1. Jon Jones again. Finally coming to the second entry on this list that relates to Jon Jones, and trust me, more could have been added, even a whole lot more if one was so inclined. Jon is an absolute magnet to controversy, something that made him quite a liability these days. While there were certainly lower moments from this former 205-pound champion, over the years, from the perspective of the promotion having a long and drawn-out video of one of your biggest stars taking and later failing a sobriety test before then being arrested is not a good look whatsoever, considering some of the things Jones has said to policemen over the years. He cut a relatively respectable figure here, but all in all, this 2020 clip was yet another moment that really made many fans change their overall opinion of this once revered superstar. Can he rebound and win heavyweight gold? Who knows? But one thing is for certain, it's that Jones has done irreparable damage to his reputation already.
Okay. All right, John, go and turn around. So I do have to place you under arrest for DWI, okay?
It seems controversies and deleted moments are no more a big deal in the intense world of MMA, and Dana White is sure to have a prying look on everything so that the decorum of the sport is never spoiled. Hope you liked the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and also hit the bell icon for the latest updates. Thanks for watching. MMA Wired will be right back with more amazing content just for you. Till then, keep growing, keep smiling.